Hey everyone, I'm Joe. Today I'm going to be doing a book review of Use of Weapons by Iain M. Banks. This is a science fiction book first published in 1990, so at the time of filming this is a 30-year-old novel, and this is the third novel in the Culture universe, of which there are 10 in total. So, first of all, what is the Culture universe? It is an expansive and very immersive universe that Iain M. Banks created. It is a very well-known universe, which I am currently exploring. It is basically humanity has spread to the stars in the near or semi-near future. We have colonised multiple worlds, and as a result, we are in a sort of post-scarcity time where, due to obviously mining from asteroids and other worlds, basic resources, metals and valuable resources that we mine from the earth now really isn't a concern, because we can mine them from all over the place and we have them in very large quantities. So frankly, resources are abundant and we have very little reason within ourselves as a human civilization to essentially have war and to quarrel, frankly, which we still do, but it's relatively rare by this point. We've learned to become better than that, or at least that's the appearance that the government of the culture likes to appear to be. However, things aren't always that easy, because we have met, as a civilization, many other species in the stars, and we have gone to war with some of them, the culture has. However, some of them we have managed to make peace with, after probably going to war with them, frankly, in some cases. And the culture has a policy now to try not to interfere with other civilizations too much, openly and officially, that is, because the culture does like to interfere in other civilizations covertly, and that is where this book comes into play, because at the start of the book, the main character, whose name I still have to read off because it's actually very long, is Cheradinin Zakawi. He is one of the special circumstances, which is a special division within the culture government. He was a former sort of top secret agent, essentially, kind of a spy covert agent for them. He pretty much retired from that way of life because of various personal reasons. However, he gets persuaded to come back into the sort of government fold and do work for them again for very particular reasons, and he gets sent to a world that is on the verge of a very significant social and society-wide change. Now, this world is very volatile, because obviously massive change on a level that affects governments always is. Obviously, in a real world that applies too. I mean, often war is associated with this, and indeed this has the feel of a war-torn world, if not war at the exact time the character is there. It definitely has a feel of the characters will be shortly in a war if they don't move and achieve what they are trying to achieve. And Cheradinin is on this world, he's interacting with various people, and his objective is to extract and find first this very particular figure who has gone into hiding within this planet's government, and extract them, and they need him to influence the way that this world is going in a certain way. They try not to do it in an obvious way, of course, because that's not the culture method, but they are quite pushy with this, though, because of certain reasons that you'll find out in the book. And the plot goes from there. It doesn't go entirely the way Cheradinin or indeed the culture expects. There are twists and turns and unexpected happenings, and I don't want to say too much more because of spoilers, but it's a quite interesting, albeit strange plotline with an interesting conclusion, and I'll talk about that momentarily. The characters, other than Cheradinin, although he's included in this as well, are all very well developed and very well thought out. They all fit within this culture universe, as Banks has a habit of doing. The characters work within the universe. They have a reason for being there. The reason may not be an obvious one, but it does fit and it does work, and it feels very natural for the characters to be there. And one of the things that Banks manages to achieve, which is not easy and something that I don't come across often, is that you come to sympathise with characters, but not just like the main characters like Cheradinine, but multiple characters you come to sympathise with and understand the reasons why they're doing it. You might not like the reasons why they're doing things, but you understand it. And it's interesting because often the characters are at cross purposes. Cheradinine might have reasons for doing one action, and another character might have cross actions that completely oppose this, and yet you still understand it. And it's like, which character do you expect or hope will do better out of this situation, as only one of them can? This happens at slightly strange cross purposes. Not always, it's actually very, very subtle indeed. I'm building this to be something more directly cross purposes. It's much less obvious than that and much more subtle, but that is the general basis of it, at least I found, and it's quite an interesting situation to be in. Oh, and as far as characters goes, the mines and the drones that were in previous culture novels make a return and play a significant role yet again. Mines are essentially these extremely advanced artificial intelligences that are fully sentient, and they essentially are the culture's government for all intents and purposes. They are able to make calculations and predict things on a much faster method than any person could. So they kind of make the decisions, and people just sort of tend to go along with it. For the most part, they sort of review it and say, that looks good, okay. Drones, which are obviously essentially like very small versions, nowhere near as advanced, but still essentially fully sentient in their own right. One in particular makes another appearance, as in previous culture novels, and the drones are always really interesting. They are fun, a bit strange because of what they are, but really enjoyable to read about, and I'm grateful they are there. As far as the time frame of the book is concerned and the writing goes, the writing is very well structured and well paced. The chapters alternate between the past chapters of Cheradinine's life in a sort of reverse chronological order, going back step by step into the reasons why he's in this situation now and how he ended up here, and obviously the current situation on this world where he's trying to be this sort of covert type agent essentially, and find this individual that he's been tasked to do. And these two timelines, which are both interesting because obviously they start at one point and then they go opposite from each other, very literally, is an interesting one, and one that I really enjoyed. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and I could understand why some people might not like this book, because these timelines can be a bit strange, frankly. But I've read books that are stranger than this, so personally I found it quite normal and really enjoyable as a result. As far as the title of the book goes, use of weapons does not merely refer to the use of physical weapons, as in guns or laser weaponry or ship-based, orbital bombardment weaponry of some kind, sort of the traditional sort of science fiction weaponry. This is far more than that. Indeed, the physical weapons is almost irrelevant to this book. This is about use of weapons, use of people, specifically agents. What can a government do with its people? How does it interact with its population as a whole? A government is not separate from the people, it's part of it. You've got the people and they elect the government. At least that's what should happen, and it's how the government is using its resources to manipulate and control the population to stay in power. This happens in the real world to various effects, and obviously there are various political events going on around the world now because frankly, multiple governments around the world are in a complete mess at the moment, and people are trying to change this. Use of Weapons is a conveniently timed book for me personally to read it now, because that is going on heavily within the UK and other countries. This is delving into that aspect. It's talking about change and how do people interact with their government, and how does the government interact with them. It's this two-way interaction, the people and the government, the population and the government, as you say, and how this works and how Banks manages to talk about this subject and go into an interesting depth about it is really interesting, and one that I really liked, because you can take as much or as little from this book as you want. If you want it to be this adventure, which has a fairly light conclusion, by the way, it doesn't have this obvious conclusion where Cheridini has this ultimate ending and that's it. I mean, there's kind of one, but not really. The book is more than that. But if you want it to be straightforward and simple, you can. The book is what you make of it. I made quite a lot of it because this book speaks to me at the moment, as I said, because of the world politics at the moment and UK politics in particular. This explores politics and government, so it's an interesting book, and I think strangely of the moment. I mean, this book may be 30 years old, but Banks wrote a book then that I think will hold up for a long time in the future. Overall, I'd say this is an extremely well written book with some really interesting ideas about government and their interactions with the population they are supposedly meant to govern, although the effects of that are obviously, of course, interesting and varied. The characters are well developed, the world is of course really interesting, and overall I would really highly recommend this to pretty much all science fiction fans who want something a little bit different and want something to really make you think, because it has taken me over a month to actually figure out my thoughts and make this review. It's not an easy book, but it's well worth the time and effort personally, and I would really recommend it. And what else Banks has created within this culture universe is also really interesting. So if not this book by Iain Banks, something by him I would recommend, because his writing is frankly exceptional, and as a writer I regard him very highly, but considering I haven't been reading him very long, it's quite an achievement, I personally think. Anyway, with that said, that is it for this review. If you think I've missed any significant points about this book, then please leave a comment, because I'm bound to have missed some significant points, because I've tried to cover as much as I can, but these books are obviously expansive, so you know there will be something I've missed without fail. If you've read any other books by Iain Banks, or have got any other interesting points to make, then please leave a comment as well. All my social media links can be found in the description box below. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.